damn it. Well, it's just this question always of, like when things are like so slam dunk simple, presented to you by mainstream news, I want you to um, not be such an easy target for manipulation. What I mean is, you're all basically educated to the level of rationality. So, for example, if they report on the news, Wuhan, China has got an outbreak of coronavirus, and then they report everyone in Wuhan is now wearing a mask all the time, and then 2 weeks later, in Wuhan, China, there are no cases of new virus. Ergo, the slam dunk look at it is masks work. They stop the prevention of COVID. And you all, it's like trivial, right? It's like, duh, of course it works. They're just showing you it works. And what I want you to do is assume that mainstream news has an agenda. And their agenda is basically, if we can present information to our audience in very easy to understand methods, we can get the buy. In other words, if we can show you that, on the very basic level, masks prevent COVID in China, you'll say, that's so logical. Okay, the news is being logical. Then we're going to give a whole pile of lies to you that you are going to accept as being real because you kind of tested the journalists when it came to masks stopping COVID-19. But I want you to imagine that the people who are running the television are way smarter. I mean, this mask thing, if you presented to someone 10 years old, a 10-year-old boy, if you said to the 10-year-old boy, this thing, there's a virus in Wuhan, they put on masks, and 2 weeks later there were no new cases of viruses, the 10-year-old would get it. And basically, the news channels assume you are of the mentality of a 10-year-old. And this is how they manipulate you. They psychologically reinforce that they are rational people. And then they tell you a bunch of lies. And because you're conditioned to believe that the news people are rational, and whoever the health authorities were in Wuhan, they were rational, you be rational, we're all rational, and we're all going to be fine. And that's what a 10-year-old is going to get. But on a much deeper level, when you get to be 60 years old and you've seen 55 years of planet Earth, you know that there's all kinds of times when we have been led to believe this is true by the news media, and later on it comes out actually they were lying to us at the time. But, we're going to move on to the next story. And it's not just the news who lies, it's the government itself who lies. So why would we ever believe that these people are not? Pretty much we cannot get true information. We are spoon-fed and we are turned into the proverbial sheep. Today the Canadian Health Minister was on television. And she's saying, well, we're watching our numbers. And so what does that really mean? It means you're the Minister of Health, and the Ministry of Health has prepared some document down in the basement and brought it up to your desk on the top level of the Ministry of Health building, and they're telling you this is the summary of what's going on in Canada today. So she's watching the numbers. But the question is, who's making these reports? What exactly are being submitted? In other words, we already know from the beginning of this fiasco that, because it was admitted, the Centers for Disease Control put out COVID-19 tests that were faulty. I believe it was false positives is what they were giving. So if these people are putting out crap test-wise, and the Canadian government gets a hold of these tests, these test kits that are contaminated, that don't work, and this is all being gathered across Canada, these shitty tests that don't give you the right information, and then they all get collated in the basement of the Ministry of Health. The Canadian Minister of Health sees them, and what exactly has she got? She's got a report on, we know the tests were faulty. What makes you sure that that these tests that they're using today are not still faulty? There is no quality control that you personally have seen. I mean, you didn't go into the manufacture. You don't know how many places are manufacturing them. Are they made in South Africa? Are they made in Israel? Are they made in California? Are they made in China? Are they made in Japan? Are they made in Germany? Are they made in Latvia? Are they made in Mexico? Are they made in Brazil? Where are they made in Mozambique? Where are they made? You don't know. All you get is the end totals of all these different tests made by God knows who, with God knows what, and it's reality, folks. It's reality. And then some nurse is going to say, "Well, I know, but if it's the hospital knows someone is sick when they give them a COVID." I don't know that. There's a lot of assumptions made by healthcare workers. Someone came in and they had like symptoms of a cold, and then we gave them a test and it came back COVID-19, versus we test everybody that comes into our hospital. You come in with a broken leg, we're going to test you for COVID, because we're trying to get, we don't want anybody who's not. Someone just told me that, their person that they know who's in their early 20s and very fit, athletic person, they lost their taste and smell, um, and they think it was COVID. What else? Nothing. They're perfectly fine. They're not sick. That's all they had. So, if this is what happens if you're in your 20s and you'll get COVID-19, and, the symptoms are a very mild cold for a short while, remember, there's no treatment for this. So why are you shutting down the world? Because of the other thing that came out last week was, in search of anything new to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to keep reminding you that, is there something nefarious going on with COVID-19? Or is it just pretty much, I don't know. Is somebody really devilish at big pharmaceutical companies and they're putting out garbage things? Yes, we know. We know that, third-tier pharmaceutical companies from China are totally untrustworthy. You can't walk down the block to go and look at them. Am I singling out China? Yes, because most of the stuff in North America is made in China. I'm not going to blame people in Massachusetts for it. The stuff is all being made in China. And I can't even fly to Massachusetts to check out a manufacturing plant there. But we have got, I kind of losing track of where I'm going with this. I simply wanted to remind you that without really knowing, if you don't know the science of polymerase chain reaction, which is reported to be one of the methods of detecting viruses, if you don't understand that, if you never read up on it, and you're simply getting a test result, I mean, how many doctors know polymerase chain reaction? How many doctors have been to the factory where they make these PCR tests? How many doctors sat in on the quality assurance of all this stuff? And yet they're the ones that, you go to the doctor's office and, what are they going to do? They're just going to go open up their cabinet and they got COVID-19 prepackaged tests, and, they take a swab from you under your tongue, and lo and behold, that's the test? Because it's too simple. Doctors are paid hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars a year. And they're using all of this stuff, and, then they deliver the line, you got COVID, and I want to say, doctor, seriously, you're using this prepackaged kit? I can buy a pregnancy kit at the dollar store. Why am I paying you for your expert opinion? When, basically I should be able to buy, right next to pregnancy kits, COVID-19 test kits. Why do we need these? What happens is that you take the authority of a medical doctor who's got a degree and gone to medical school, and you've connected this doctor's education to this test kit. And I'm sorry, that's foolish. This doctor did not manufacture this test kit. I could have my 7-year-old go and administer this kit and say, oh, it turned pink, you're pregnant. The only reason I plant these seeds in your head is because you are bombarded by information every day. And we get tired. You get physically tired because your mental activity. And, if you have to go and look at everything that you buy and look to see, is it what it says it is? It's pretty easy to tell if the peanut butter is peanut butter, and if the peanut butter looks contaminated, it smells funny, it doesn't smell like peanut butter, and tastes like peanut butter, But when it comes to this high-tech stuff, this little COVID-19 or pregnancy test that's, the size of a coffee cup, it comes in a kit box, it's a lot more difficult to know if this thing is telling you the truth. I wish I could just send all this information to you as a download. Have you heard of these downloads? Well, these so-called spiritual teachers on YouTube keep saying we get downloads and activations. They just come in like via telepathy, and then you get them. I wish I could send this information to you by download telepathy. Then I wouldn't have to speak so many words. I mean, 15 minutes of me talking in words, and I'm still not sure whether you understand what I'm getting at. The difficulty of words, but waiting for a download for you to come from me, I guess I'd rather give you what I can give you in words than not give you anything at all. My name is Harry Weaver, and I'm the narrator on this channel. This is a Bob Frizzell Productions. Please share and subscribe. And if you really want to give us a thumbs up, then ask us for our PayPal account and, send us a donation. This is like so poor. I just got to tell you, viewers, you don't have to send me a donation. It's just that so many people on YouTube are like asking for donations, and so many people seem to have money to donate. I mean, there's the Phil Good who's in Los Angeles, and he's got it set up so people in Germany can donate to him via PayPal. I don't know. keep your $20. Go buy yourself a bottle of wine and say, it's from Bobby. Or, Harry. I'm Harry right now. Harry. Thanks.